So we were explaining, like, I think there's a lot to unpack with this new reform policy of the PIP and the universal credits, and I think the way it could be, it could come very confusing, and there could be a lot of innocent people involved in it all. That's my concern, and I've seen it all before with what I do, and it's very, very concerning for. I don't claim nothing. So people might think, oh, it's because he's claiming. I don't claim nothing personally, not me personally, you know. Um,
I think,
I know people who do get paid PIP, which would be looked at, which would be very unfair. So I'm a bit anxious about that.
yeah, I think there's a lot of people that are in who are in need of it, who I think it's so hard to.
I could have claimed for it, but when I went through arthritis, well, I still got some, and I could have claimed for it, and I've had one hip replacement. I never even went there because I carried on working. I wanted to try and do my bit. So I could have done, and I could probably get a low little bit now because I'm in constant pain and stuff. But I'm not interested. I want
Yeah,
money, of course I do. But anyway, so let's end that there because I think there's so much to unpack. But if you are supporting it, please check it out. Don't just jump into it because it's Reform or
but
Nigel Farage.
but I would say just one last thing. I think if the government were to look at anything, I would say it's universal credit, not PIP,
Exactly, exactly.
because universal credit is the biggest piss take in this country.
It is so hard to get PIP as well. And people don't
Yeah,
realise how hard it is to get. Yeah,
and it's
it's
so easy
extremely
to get
hard.
universal credit. I've known people. I'm not going to say names, um, but I've known someone that's very close to me who has. I say very close to me. He's close to me, but not greatly close. Who's been out of work for so long, drugs, everything like that. Got a claim from Universal Credit. Got the advance of like 500 quid. And there's me and Leanne just working for a living and like yourself as well. And it's like, okay, and then he goes and gambles.
Mm.
It's like we are struggling to live in a fucking house here, mate.
Yeah,
But yeah,
as you say, it's pleased with anything and whatever party is. I know I do jump on film that's because I don't think they think things through, and I am personally I am genuinely concerned, and I realise they've lost a lot of people and voters because of this, and some of it might be for the wrong reason that they're claiming they shouldn't be claiming, of course, but. There is a lot of disabilities that people don't understand. But let's
absolutely.
move on to the next video. Welcome to the next video. So I think we should do a bit of fun for this video. Okay, so Michael doesn't know I'm going to say this or do this or anything else. That's not doing anything. But I quite often see on Facebook just little videos crop up, and I'm sure you, Michael himself has seen them, of things you can say in one particular area, but you can't in it to somebody else or something else. So my suggestion is we just see how far we can get with it. It might only be like two each, I don't know. So I'm going to say things you can say in a restaurant, but not to the in-laws.
But not to the in-laws.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, so, God, that looks really crusty.
Uh, can I dunk it in the sauce, please?
You got such a big bit of meat there. Did you squirt enough cream over that?
Excuse me, can I get a refund for that?
Was that pig nice? Those thighs are big.
And I think this is wrong. I've got a spotted dick.
Very good. Oh dear.
I was gonna say, actually, with the aspect, I was gonna say, I would like you to, because you gave me a challenge to write a book by December, which we accepted with grace because we
And I
had
don't accept
to work
challenges,
to us. So I've got a challenge for you right now, and you've got 10 seconds to think of it and say it, and that is a story with a beginning, middle, and end, which has horror, killing, romance, and a bit of humour. You've got 10 seconds to think about it, starting now.
I went on a date the other day. It went so well, but she's a bit horrified. She killed me off just like that.
All right, smart. Last, like before we do this, if you could, I mean, if you could say that there's one thing this country could change for the better, what would it be and why?
Um, Probably attitude. I think the attitude's gone down over the years of, I s- of well, yeah, attitude covers so many things from moaning about stuff. That's probably a social media thing of supporting your neighbours, of just being there for other people rather than, we've come so focused on what we're doing and we're all guilty of it, let's be honest. But the loss of perhaps being there for others or just listening to others, so sort of an attitude adjustment of just taking a step back. Sometimes things aren't as bad, sometimes we need to be there for others more.
For definite, I fully agree, and I actually think the same as you. I think this country needs to find its love and passion and respect, and I think that's part of the reason why I don't like the forced migration from outside because we have to respect that other countries have other religions and other beliefs and other ways of living, and people will have opinions that don't always match each other. But if we're going to invite people from other countries in who don't believe in women's rights, then that is the downfall of Britain, in my opinion. And I think the best part about this country was when we started to believe in women's rights. And
Yeah, but are you saying the country needs to be stronger in those areas rather than
I would say,
supporting?
I, I'd say stronger in the aspect of, I'd say if I was the prime minister, I'd say if you travel over by boat illegally, we'd shoot you, we'd kill you, go away. But we would come over to your country and pick up the women and girls, bring them here, give them education, support, healthcare. But I don't think that we should be allowing the migration of men and lads who are fighting age, who come over here stabbing and raping people over here. I just don't think it's right. And I don't think the country is strong enough, like you just said. But I don't think the country will ever be strong enough to defeat that because of what Tony Blair done years ago.
Okay, I think we're going into a slightly different video here. Uh, do you believe then, okay, not one person should be raped, murdered by an immigration person? Let's just get that out there before I say the next bit. Is the fact that some of these stories are overhyped. I've seen some stories saying that these aren't as often as happening. It's like the overcrowd in London. I've seen people go around video cameras saying, look, there's not an issue here. Just walking around, that's not fake. It might be times right, but people on the trains saying, look, it's so and so time. I feel perfectly safe. There's no threat here. So is it politically motivated to scare people?
I would say that, without looking at the social media aspect and without looking at how people see it or the perspective from anyone, I'd say if there is even 10% of the British public who feel unsafe because of anything, I think then there is a purpose that the government need to say we need to deal with. Because I'm not gonna lie, like,
Yeah, but why do you
the
feel unsafe? Because you've read something or actually seen something.
well, this is part of it both because there is videos of it and there's videos of everything. But what I would say is I don't believe it's all to do with illegal immigration. So I'm not trying to blame illegal immigration for everything. So what my strict point is, I would say, if we stopped illegal immigration, helped out the people that need it, but we need to focus on this country and this country alone, because way before this illegal immigration, we've we've got issues ourselves in this country where politics have let loose and people are running riot in our country, where they think it's okay to attack people and stab and fight. I mean, I see it on a regular occasion. I think if you see abuse and stuff, it's just horrible to see. I think in London, in America, I mean,
Okay,
everywhere.
but there's something in there you've also mentioned that a lot of people complain about. And if we did this perhaps more, or weren't so worried about doing this, is foreign aid. Foreign aid was built to help stop things over there rather than
Yeah,
coming here. And people saying, oh, we should stop the foreign aid. Maybe that's why more are coming here because they're not getting support in their own countries. And people, again, misinformed and lack of information on foreign aid. Foreign aid isn't just to helping the person, it's also to stop diseases coming here. It's to improve doctors. It's to improve all these things, not to come into this country, but to help protect this country. It's a bit like a defence aid, really. And yes, there are war zones. Yes, you will still get people come over on boats and everything else. You're always going to get that. It's too hyped up. There are too many gangs, and there's too much promises of the promised land and all the rest of it. But
I had a friend in Sierra Leone, and I worked with him from 2010 for a few years, and we was donating money to Africa and his place for with like within that support from the UK for aid. Now he told me, like, even from his perspective, the charity which he ran, the government in Africa are so rich, the people of Africa are so poor, and the government are keeping all the money and doing what they wish. So I kind of agree with the foreign aid should be stopped. And I think if this country wants to make a difference, we need to make impact. I don't think impact is allowing people here. I think impact is making sure that we're safe first, and then this is where it's dangerous. I think because they might think the way that we live is unsafe because we allow certain things to happen. I'm not saying Africa's like that because it's not, but I'm saying if we wanted Africa to be in a different way, and we and they went against the government of Africa, that would lead into a war where it should be a fact of, instead of paying out money to hopefully help, I think we should then look at maybe just,
the money's got to go to the right places.
yeah, definitely, like instead of just raising all that funds. I mean, look at children in need. The reason why it's gaining more money from companies because it's sponsored instead of people that's paying money, and it's gone from £1 a donation to watch to 20
Yeah,
quid.
I do think charities are asking too much, and it's annoying me now that some of the charities are starting to ask people to rewrite their wills. I'm
Really?
sorry, but you're taking your family's legacy type
Yeah,
way. I know there might be one or two people on their own who haven't got much family or friends or anything else, but again, they got a brain for themselves if they want to do something like that. Yeah, the charities are advertising. If you'd like to leave us so much in the will, you're thinking what?
yeah.
But
This is
anyway,
when you think these charities have paid CEOs,
yeah.
and then the stores have paid managers.
I
It's
think
like,
it's very difficult because there are lots of CEOs and other things who do get paid big bucks, um, and not to conflict. small charities, because there are some people who just talk about charity and say, I don't trust charities. There's some absolutely tiny charities who do absolutely zero, nothing wrong, who are literally on minimum wage and volunteers, and they can be caught up in these sort of stories. That's the risk of this. And I've seen it all before, and I've felt it all before. Um, because in some of those CEOs, they do actually what's also not reported is spend 6 months away from their homes and families, going to Africa, going to these different places, spending time away, which is sometimes why they're paid these money because they're not at home. That they, I'm not saying all of them, but that's like every business. Do spend a lot of time away from their families, going to these places, spending time away, spending time out, and things like that. So I think it's important to know individual circumstances sometimes as well.
For definite, for definite. And you know what? Hats off to you. And you know, this is why I love talking to you about stuff like this because I think between you and I, we've both got two different aspects, but our bond and friendship means that we're able to discuss it and see the
Yeah,
goods and pros and cons of both sides. And I love that.
but this is why we ask people to come on because it's always your opinion.
Here comes the sun, and I say.